Right now, in this very moment, there are forces working to distract you, to drain your hope, and to make you feel powerless. They want you overwhelmed by despair, lost in confusion, unable to move forward. But here's what they don't want you to know. You hold something they can never take away. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share could change how you see everything. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us something powerful. He said to be diligent in what benefits you, to keep growing, keep learning, and keep building yourself. Your foundation is your faith, and upon it you build the skills of this world to serve yourself, your faith, and your community. When a man asked the Prophet for guidance that would be enough for his entire life, the response was simple yet profound. Believe in Allah and remain steadfast. That's it. Consistency on the path of truth. Victory comes in three forms. First, there's collective victory as a community against injustice and corruption. Second, there's personal victory over your own desires and temptations in daily life. Third, and most important, there's the ultimate victory in the hereafter when you stand firm upon truth until your final breath. If the first isn't possible, focus on the second. If neither seems within reach, never forget the third. Many succeed in this world but forget the next. Yet we know this life is temporary, a test we're all flowing through toward our inevitable end. When Allah speaks of victory in the Quran, He promises that if you give Him victory, He will give you victory and make your feet steadfast. He makes you firm in your principles, in your faith, in the true values you were created for. He strengthens you against the manipulation of the world, against injustice, against the temptations designed to pull you away from your path. Our true value comes from holding firm to Islamic principles and values. But look at the world we live in. The cultural and political pressures are immense. Globalization has spread everywhere with twisted narratives while distracting you with materialistic interests. As you grow more aware, you'll notice your identity and values are constantly being bargained with by those whose own principles are corrupt. They create ultimatums, forcing you to compromise your identity, your faith, how you dress, speak, think, and what you aim for in life. You must be prepared for resistance. Don't give in to despair or let your guard down. You'll see many around you weaken and sacrifice their principles for alluring desires. Sometimes the layers of deception make you feel powerless to change anything. But here's the truth. The world has always been shaped by power struggles and manipulation. This isn't new. The struggle between truth and falsehood, right and wrong, justice and injustice, has always existed and always will. This is our test. But you are not powerless unless you make yourself powerless. Focus on what you can do. Connect with people who share your commitment to truth. Don't despair, because despair only serves those in power. They want you distracted, hopeless, following delusions until you're incapacitated. This is the opposite of what the Prophet taught us. Be diligent in what benefits you while seeking Allah's support every step of the way. Don't become paralyzed by despair. Don't give up after one or two trials or because of negative voices around you. Instead, act, learn, and work together. Don't abandon what you can do while asking Allah for help. If things don't go your way, if hardship strikes, remember that Allah knows what's best regardless of what we see. Every prayer is answered, but not always how you wanted, because Allah's knowledge surpasses ours. History proves that power shifts when enough people decide it must, or when people stand on firm principles. When Prophet Muhammad began his mission, it took 13 to 14 years to establish themselves in Medina. Because they held strong principles connected to the hereafter, Allah made them successful. Even correcting how we discuss these issues creates change. You don't need to overthrow injustice overnight. You just need to be intentional with how you think, speak, and engage with the world. Remember, this world is a test. You cannot fulfill all your desires without sacrificing some of your values or principles. Don't be someone who wants everything for their desires, because that's how you become enslaved, through abandoning your principles. One thing no enemy can take from you, no matter how powerful, is your principles and values. The Prophet taught that whoever can change injustice should do so in whatever way possible. Sometimes change comes through movements, lobbying, building communities that create new awareness. If you can't do it physically, do it verbally through your writing and communication. If you can't change it with your words, then the minimum is in your heart. The fact that you hold it in your heart, that you reject evil and know your identity, this is amazing success because it defines who you are. Be prepared to lose things here and there for the sake of integrity and principles that Allah loves. Be among those who uphold truth, justice, and values with integrity. Never forget the Prophet's words, "You will never leave anything for the sake of Allah, except that Allah replaces it with something better." This is your promise. This is your path. Stand firm.